A founder once told me, "We tried AI. It didn't work." But when we looked closer, what they really meant was their chatbot gave wrong answers, their reports contradicted each other, and their automations fired sometimes. The problem wasn't AI. The problem was that AI was reading chaos and doing exactly what it was told. Today, we're going to look at what AI actually does in real businesses when the data is clean, when the workflows are clear, and when the systems are designed intentionally. Welcome back to Tech Talks with Grace, the show where we turn operational chaos into clarity one system at a time. Up to this point, we've spent a lot of time on foundations, data integrity, workflow mapping, scoring readiness, turning insight into action. And now we're at the moment everyone asks about. Okay, but what does this look like in the real world? Today's episode is Pillar 4, Real World Use Cases and Strategic Application. This is where theory meets reality. By the end of this episode, you'll see how structured data changes what AI can actually do, why some teams get incredible results with simple tools, and why others fail using the same technology. We'll walk through 3 real-world style case studies across different businesses and different business functions, and then I'll give you a simple way to apply these lessons inside your own business starting this week. Let's get into it. Let's start with case study 1. This is a customer support case study, AI that actually helps. This is a place that many businesses try AI first, customer support. Meet Harbor Tech Solutions, a mid-sized B2B SaaS company. What's their problem? Harbor Tech had a growing customer base, a small support team, and a shared inbox that never stopped. They introduced an AI chatbot to reduce ticket volume. Within weeks, customers complained they had wrong answers, irrelevant responses, and circular conversations. Leadership then assumed AI isn't ready yet. Now, what was really happening? When we reviewed their setup, here's what we found. Knowledge base articles were outdated. Product names were inconsistent. Support categories were not standardized. Ticket tags meant different things to different agents. The AI wasn't, quote unquote, thinking poorly. It was trained on inconsistent inputs. What's the fix? Not a new AI tool. Again, the fix is not a new AI tool. Before touching the chatbot again, they did 3 things. 1, they standardized their support categories. 2, they cleaned and structured their knowledge base. And 3, they defined one source of truth for product documentation. Only after that did they actually reconnect the AI. You're going to be asking, of course, what was the result after stopping and not adding a new AI tool? Well, the result was first response accuracy increased dramatically. I'll say that again. The first response accuracy increased dramatically. Human agents were able to spend more time on complex issues, not triage or putting out fires. Customer satisfaction stabilized. Same exact AI, different data, completely different outcome. The lesson learned here is AI does not replace support systems. It amplifies the quality of the information you give it. That brings us to the second case study. Sales and CRM, when AI stops guessing. Let's talk about sales here, specifically CRMs and forecasting. Meet Northline Consulting, a professional services firm. Their problem is Northline wanted AI-assisted sales insights. This is standard, right? Most of us would like that. When we're seeing our numbers in the CRM, we need to see what the sales insights are, and if AI can assist that, that will help us make decisions better in our business. What were they looking for? Northline wanted sales insights into deal likelihood, so probabilities on their deals, revenue projections, and pipeline risk. So they went ahead and turned on AI features inside their CRM. What was the output? Conflicting forecasts. They had deals marked high confidence that never closed, and leadership stopped trusting the reports. What was the real issue? Was it the AI tool they were using? Did they turn it on prematurely? The real issue is their CRM looked full, but their stages didn't actually match their real workflow steps. Their required fields were not actually required. Notes were unstructured and inconsistent, no standardized nomenclature. And deal owners updated records at different times. There was no standardized workflow steps for when the deal owners were supposed to update the records. AI cannot see patterns. Well, it's not that it can't see patterns. There were no patterns or consistent patterns to read. The fix here, they paused. As I've said before, you need to pause to review and assess. So they paused their AI insights entirely, and they focused on the data structure, or on the structure of their systems and their information. They went ahead and just did 4 simple things. They redesigned the CRM stages to match reality. They standardized required fields per stage. They clarified ownership and updated the timing. And they also went ahead and cleaned historical data just enough to create baselines. Then they re-enabled their AI. Here you have a fantastic result because they were able to pause and then review and assess, fix, and require. The result here became forecasting was actually aligned with reality. Their sales managers were also able to trust the pipeline and the pipeline reviews again and the reporting. They were able to use that same report and use it for the sales managers and leadership as part of coaching. So coaching became proactive instead of reactive. Remember, AI did not magically improve their sales. It made existing signals visible because the data finally made sense. The lesson learned here is AI does not create clarity. The lesson learned here is AI does not create clarity in sales. Clarity allows AI to support better decisions. Better data, better AI, better decisions, supported team. That takes us to the next case study. Let's look at operations. This is the point where AI and automation either shine or break everything. Meet Bright Path Agency, a growing marketing firm. What was their problem? The problem was they wanted to automate onboarding. They wanted the contract signed. They wanted projects automatically created. They wanted the teams to be automatically assigned and kickoff emails automatically sent. They built automations. They added AI-generated summaries. And then what happened? Projects were created twice. The wrong teams were assigned, and clients started receiving conflicting messages. What exactly went wrong here? In their actual intake process, they had multiple forms in circulation. They also had different data collected at different sources and different inputs. So depending on where it came in, they had different data points that were collected at intake, at accounting, at different departments. And they also had free text fields for critical inputs like date of birth that you absolutely need to have as a drop-down or calendar option. In their case, as an agency and a marketing firm, they needed to have their actual services as a drop-down, and they did not. For the critical inputs like industry and budget and things of that nature, it was a free text field. So the automation worked. It fired correctly. But because the inputs were inconsistent, the outcomes were unpredictable. You might be saying here that, oh no, everything is broken, everything is not working. That's not the case. The fix is not to add new AI, which they did not. What did they do? they created one canonical intake form. When I say the word canonical, many of you may glaze over at that word. Essentially, it means one standardized intake form that is accepted and approved across the business. That takes us to the next thing they did, so that they didn't add a new AI tool. They standardized the required fields. They made it so that it had to be always capitalized and drop down fields for those things that they could. Everything else was required as an input required at the time that the individual or whomever was taking that information in was required to put that information in at that time. They also mapped their intake to the CRM, and from the CRM to their project management tool, defined in a workflow and in a clear path. They also defined one single source of truth per system. Then, and only then, did they actually reintroduce automation and their AI summaries. Now, at this point, having taken the time to review, assess, and clean all of the systems and the required fields, and also to ensure that their work plans and sources of truth per system were defined, what was the result? Onboarding time dropped significantly. Teams were able to stop double-checking systems here and there and everywhere. And the AI summaries became reliable instead of confusing. What is the lesson here? Automation isn't fragile. It's the unstructured data beneath the automation that is fragile. So again, automation isn't fragile. Unstructured data is. That brings me to my favorite part. Hopefully it's become your favorite part of the episode, and that is actionable takeaways. Let's turn this into action. Here's what I would like you to do. No tools required. Remember, I give you something that you can take and immediately act on right now, today. So, no tools. I want you to first identify one workflow that needs improvement. Ask yourself, where does AI or automation feel unreliable? Where do people double check the system because they don't trust it? That's your signal. The second thing I'd like you to do is review that data for inconsistencies. So what are you looking for? You're looking for free text where structure should exist, multiple versions of the same form, and fields that are used differently by different people. Fix one of these first. The last thing I'd like you to do is choose one system to optimize. Not everything. Remember, I am a big proponent of doing one thing at a time, then seeing your progress, checking that progress, and ensuring it sticks, and then moving on to the next. So here I would like you to choose one system to optimize, not everything. And that one system could be intake. It could be CRM. It could be support. It could be delivery. Because stability in one system creates momentum everywhere else. Here's the truth that ties everything together. AI doesn't fail because it's too new. It fails because it's honest. It actually reflects the structure or lack of structure already inside your business. In this pillar, you saw real-world proof. Clean data turns AI into leverage. Inconsistent data turns AI into chaos. Systems, not tools, determine outcomes. You now understand how data integrity impacts real-world automation, not in theory, but in practice. In the next episode, we'll move from observation to application, how to take these insights and apply them strategically inside your own workflows, without overhauls or overwhelming yourself, your staff, or anyone else. I'm Grace, and this is Tech Talks with Grace.